I've been trying to think of ways to celebrate part 50 of this series. Back when I started, I imagine at this point we'd be celebrating our first FA Cup win or something like that. As it is, we need to have more realistic goals for what a celebration is. And I couldn't think of anything. But then the stars aligned, the universe came through for me because Sir Tom Elliott now follows me on Twitter. Hello and welcome to part 50 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kevin. Coming up on this episode, we're away against Spenny Moor, at home against Woking, and trying to secure promotion to the Football League. Since you were last with me, form went a little bit messy, largely because of an FA Cup run. We got through to the FA Cup third round against Bradford. It's been good financially. We've set a record for our new highest attendance, highest gate receipts. All of that's helpful, but we obviously didn't win either of those games, but also the games in between the two, as everyone was distracted by the big FA Cup game. It always seems to be the way. Luckily, back in the league after that, we are back to winning ways, and this is how the league looks right now. 30 games in, we're on 58 points, 4 points behind top of the table Hartlepool. Everything is absolutely all to play for. Livesey Mason, 29 goals from 28 appearances now. And there's actually even more records that could tumble this season. We've already broken our record for record appearances for Sir Tom Elliott. I already mentioned the highest gate receipts, highest attendances. We actually filled our ground, completely sold out for the Bradford game, the replay. But also, Mason is on the verge of setting the record for most goals in a season and most league goals in a season. There's going to be more records coming as well. It feels like it should be a promotion season. Even if we finish third, it'll be the highest finish in the club's history, I think. So it's going to be a good season regardless. We just need it to be a super good season that ends with us getting promoted. So this is the team that we're putting out there for the game against Spennymoor. We've got Canning goal, a back four of Anderson, Sawyer, Redhead and Williams. Sir Tom Elliott in midfield alongside Taylor and Hurd. And then Ball in behind Scott and Mason. What I am forgetting to tell you is there's some transfer news. With about 10 days of the transfer window left, Jake Laskowski went on trial to Bolton. They then came in with an offer for him, about £50,000. I just giggled. So they followed up with another offer for Boro and met his minimum fee release clause. So Steve Borrell has now signed for Bolton. Presumably Laskowski just didn't stop talking about him the whole time he was there, and they decided he was a better option. But he's gone to Bolton. So the combination of, you would think, the combination of that money coming in plus record gate receipts, that should have solved our financial problems. It hasn't. I mean, it's better than it was, but goodness me, it's still dirty. And the good thing is we're nicely within our wage budget. And Cedwyn Scott has agreed a new contract on a reduced salary, £2,000 per week, rather than the 2.9 he was on for another 2 years. So he's a hero. And Sir Tom Elliott has now got a new contract that keeps him at the club for up to 7 years. And he's got a 3-year contract with a 2-year optional contract extension and an automatic 2-year extension after we win promotion. That will take him through to age 35. We are going to get this man on the favoured personnel at this club eventually. I mean, inexplicably, he's still not on there, and I don't know how. But let's play this game that I already told you the team for. Hopefully, Spennymoor are bottom of the league. I've picked this match because I'm hoping it's going to be an opportunity for you to see lots of goals go in. It's fun when lots of goals go in. But I'm also well aware that we have a little bit of a habit of messing up in situations like this. For example, I've messed up by leaving my phone on, so my watch and my phone have both been vibrating constantly next to the microphone. If that noise was annoying you, it's stopped now because I've put it on airplane mode. If you didn't notice it, then I messed up by telling you about it. So, habit of messing up. So Tom Elliott has started to play as the Carrilero now, as you saw on the tactics screen. When he was scoring all those goals and having his all-conquering first half of the season, a lot of that was as a Mazzala, but I can't really play Hurd deeper than he is. Balls just put us 1-0 up. An assist by Cedwyn Scott, 1-0 after 24 minutes. And as things stand, that moves us up to second place. I think 2 points behind Hartlepool, presumably because they're just not ahead in their game yet. But it's a nice little... I'm surprised that's gone down as an assist for Scott, because he's crossed it in, it's been cleared by their defender into Ball. But I'm not going to complain if they're going to call that... Why am I holding a bottle of water? This isn't a stream. if they're going to call that an assist, I'm going to take the assist. And I'm looking at that league table thinking, right, we've got a better goal difference than Hartlepool. We're only 2 points behind them as it stands. We just need them to slip up. We do play them again before the end of the season. So if we can stay within 3 points of them, then we just need to go and beat them. And we could, I mean, if everything ends like this now, we know that if we win every game for the rest of the year, we win the title, which is a nice thing to know at this stage of the season. Admittedly, that is another 15 games, so it's a lot of consecutive wins. That would break a record in and of itself. So I'm not expecting to win every game, but we just want to keep in touch with Hartlepool for when the Hartlepool game comes round. Ball is now injured after scoring our first goal. Have we got anyone who can play in that position? Omar can play there, apparently. A fit again, Omar. I mean, that's Ball. Omar's been out injured for a long time. How was he? 3 months with a hip injury. It's the return of Omar. And if you remember, early on in the season, Omar was a superstar. 13 appearances, 8 goals, 7.73. He was having the season of his career before it was cut short by injury. I don't know if he's going to be able to replicate that same form playing as an attacking midfielder. Obviously, since then, Scott and Mason have really established themselves as a top strike partnership for us, just like they did a year ago before I broke them up by signing new players. Or was it 2 years ago I did that? It might even have been 2 years ago. Oh, we could have got promoted so long ago if I hadn't signed Omar and Phyllis Kirk. But Omar's back. That always does well in the second half of a season when we started well with Livesey, with Mason and Scott up front. Just Livesey and Sedwin. I know these lads. Let's be personal with them now. Omar's in. And Omar in the first 2 months of the season scores there. He doesn't score there now, though, because it's not then anymore. Omar, again, Scott played it short to Omar, and he probably should have done better than he did. And it's taken about four attempts to tackle their player there. We eventually do get the ball back, and Hurd plays it over the top to Mason. Scott's in the middle, and he finds him, and it's 2-0, and our superstar strike partnership combine again, giving it the whole, woo! Let's pretend I'm using a chest expander. Do people still use those? I expanded my chest just by eating a lot of food. I don't know why people needed to pull on those things. I guess it's to expand just your chest, which some people are interested in. I'm not so bothered. Right, 2-0. Still 2 points behind Hartlepool. Once this highlight's done, we'll have a look to see what Hartlepool are up to in their game. Or as I used to call them when I was a kid, Hartlepool. Because I didn't understand why it was Hartlepool, but other words you don't add... Anyway, it makes sense. They're Hartlepool. And Scott's just scored again with another assist from Mason. See, Mason's about to break records for our top goal scorer and all that stuff, but he'll just play. He'll play creator today. Why not? Square it over, and Scott's not missing from there. It's good to have Sedwin Scott back. This time, he gives it the Gaza. Right, what's going on with Hartlepool? They're drawing away against Woking. And I know it's Woking. Okay, right. Substitution o'clock. I'd love a Woking goal around about now. That would be delightful. Nyron Hurd is going to come off. It's only his second game back from injury. He's not going to come off because we don't have any midfielders because we sold Boro. That's going to become problematic as the season goes on. We'll bring Laskowski on then, who's probably quite sad that he's the one who went to Bolton on trial. Obviously impressed them on trial because they did come in and make an offer for him, which I just refused. I didn't try and negotiate. I just said, no, you're not having him for 50 grand. Don't be ridiculous. And they just came back the next day and took Boro. He must be absolutely gutted. He could have been in League One. Oh, bless him. I've ruined his life. But what's he going to do? Are we going to make a final substitution? What's the point, really? We're not going to change the strikers, so Fuster's not going to come on. And we don't need to change the right back. We'll just not make the change. We'll keep him on there. We're only 2 goals up. We'll keep Moore and Fuster sat there for if we get an injury, so we don't have to go down to 10 men. And it is Omar who's injured again. This man might be finished. A long injury layoff, comes back, picks up an injury again in his first game back. That's career-ending stuff. The man's never going to be the same. It's not as if he was an international although he wasn't an international. It's not as if he was a sensation before all these injuries, but the injuries are just going to finish him off. we need to worry a little bit that bottom of the table Spennymoor are really getting back into this game. As we enter the 90th minute, we're now only 1 goal ahead, and I'm wondering if we want to bring on the right back more and perhaps play a back 5. I'm probably not going to do that. Is there any point in doing it for 30 seconds? Probably not. This is where they score, isn't it? And you all tell me I'm an idiot. This was an opportunity because Hartlepool aren't winning. Anderson nods it down to their player. We've just got to get our foot on the ball. And, Anderson comes back and covers. And that should be it. That should be enough. Scott collects. Just hold the ball up. You're a target man. That's what you're supposed to do. Or find Mason. Mason tries for the spectacular. And it doesn't come off. Right, come on. It's, full time now. That's all right then. That would have been a travesty if they'd have got back into the game with no clear-cut chances. Right, now we play Woking, who just held Hartlepool, presumably, to that 0-0. I think that must be how it finished. It was 1-1 in the end. So, 2 points behind them now. And we play them... When do we play them? I thought we played... Oh, right towards the end of the season. We want to keep a gap. I mean, it would be nice to be ahead of them by then, but... very much got eyes on that game. Let's go and play Woking. Mason's now on the verge of breaking another record, the assists record as well. The man is just a machine. I don't understand. 2.5-star current ability, apparently getting worse all the time. 29 goals from 29 games with 11 assists. And the previous 2 years weren't too bad either. That man has got 61 goals in 97 appearances in his Nuneaton career at an average of 7.48. He's only a 2.5-star player, 4th best striker at the club. My coaches are idiots. We've had to make a couple of changes to the team for this game because of the injury to Ball. He's going to be out for a couple of months now. So Hurd comes in and just slots into the position. Ball vacates. Hurd had previously been injured for a little while himself. He'd been out for 7 weeks of a torn groin muscle. That might even be the same injury that Ball's got. Where is he? Where's Ball? Why have I got all the youth players on here? James Ball has got a twisted ankle, 3 to 6 weeks. So Hurd comes in for him, moving out of the midfield, which makes space for Kabuda to come back in. And Sir Tom Elliott, almost forgot the man's been knighted. So Tom moves back over to Mazzala. Other than that, Omar picked up an injury as well, so Mitchell Glover makes his way back onto the bench. Mitchell Glover, by the way, he's played a few games for us now. We're actually giving him some game time. He's not very good, but we're running quite low on midfield players. I think we need to bring in another batch of youngsters like we did last summer, as a few of them are starting to drift off. I mean, there are a few who are out on loan. We could probably recall some loans, but yeah, I'd rather make do with what I've got. We've got to give Glover a chance at some point. This is going to be his chance. If he doesn't take his chance now, age 22, finally getting some time to make some substitute appearances and show me what he can do. If he's got nothing now, then we've got to stop messing around with him and just move him on. He's been here, 7 years at this point? And I just keep giving him new contracts based on potential. So I think rather than recalling someone, it makes sense to just give him the opportunity. And if he messes up, for once, he doesn't get a new contract. So Tom with a beautiful corner. I mean, that whole move was a thing of beauty. It was offside. It was stupid set piece. What idiot came up with that? Good corner, though. I mean, so Tom did his part. It's the rest of the numbskulls who were passing it around in their penalty area rather than shooting that messed it all up for everybody. Dagenham have moved above us, temporarily, hopefully, although Spennymoor have just equalised, so they've now gone back down below us again. But they're playing Spennymoor, we're playing Woking. We're just swapping teams with who we're playing. Hartlepool must be losing in their game because the gap has gone down to 1 point now. It's opportunity o'clock, boys and girls. Where are Hartlepool? Hartlepool are losing 2-0 at home to Accrington. I don't even know where Accrington are in the league. Accrington are 5th. This is an opportunity for us to go top of the league, but we need to score some goals to be able to do that. You would think with Scott and Mason up front, that would be fairly easy to do. The problem is, I don't know how crucial to their partnership Ball was. Elliott with another corner, and it's just sort of tootling around in the penalty area. We're not doing anything with it. We are struggling to create today, which is not a problem we've had. Perhaps Ball is even more integral to the team than I thought it was. Kaduba's just got himself sent off, I think, because he got nowhere near the ball there. That might be the last time you see Joel Kaduba. I've had it with him. He's another one like Glover, who's been around for years. I know we let him go away for a few years, but he's been around for a long time now. Supposedly got a lot of potential. But you know what? 32 games now, or 33 including this one he's played for us in the last year. And he's not starting to fulfill his potential, and he's just done something idiotic like that that's going to cost us an opportunity to go top of the league. I'm not having it, Joel. I mean, he probably will have to play again because we don't have any other midfielders left. But it's frustrating all the same. Right, now we have to try and do it without our attacking midfielder. And, of course, Sir Tom Elliott provides the assist from another beautiful corner onto the head of Sawyer. And as things stand right now, we're top of the league. We just need to not mess things up today. Woking have only had one shot in the entire game, I think. And it was off target. So hopefully we're not going to let them in. But then, obviously, Kaduba, I'd still say his name wrong every time, got himself sent off to try and make it. I mean, perhaps he's a Woking fan or a Hartlepool fan or a Dagenham fan. Clearly, he's not that bothered about Nuneaton. That's why he left and was reluctant. He wasn't reluctant to come back. He bit my arm off, especially because I told him he'd actually play this time. But here comes the Woking equaliser. Oh, I thought we'd saved it. What is Can doing there? This is where we really need to see the replay. I don't understand what Can is doing. Oh, it was disallowed. Fair enough. Can was obviously fouled. I'll let him off. Taylor it was a wild challenge. Bearing in mind, Taylor has been sent off, I think, 3 times this season already. And we're already down to 10 men. I know he won the ball that time, but please, in the circumstances, let's not slide tackles from behind, Peter. For goodness sake. Because we can't afford to go down to 9 men. They're in behind again. That must be offside. How was that not offside? Right, replay. Not there. This pass here. He's offside. Oh, I'm going to shout. No one's even appealing. I'm going to be shouting about that in the press conference after this game. And now they're going to go and win, aren't they? And the opportunity that we had, we're going to blow it again. Right. What can we... Nothing. I don't understand. I don't understand how this is happening. Yes, we went down to 10 men, but all we've done is sacrifice an attacking midfielder. That shouldn't be making our defence fall apart the way we have. What is happening here? Elliott should have closed down better, but this guy, Aziz, apparently invisible to offsides. I think both their goals have been questionable. That second one was probably okay. The first one, absolutely 100% was offside. Mason's not having a good game. Joe Anderson's not having a good game. I don't have a left back on the bench. Redhead's having a terrible game. Laskowski can come on for him. We're going to bring Glover on for Taylor. And we're just going to... What do these two actually want to be? You can be a deep line playmaker. You can be a box-to-box midfielder. You can defend. Glover, do something. I don't see how we've thrown this game away. It's just ridiculous. They hadn't had a shot on target when we got our man sent off. It's all Kaduba's fault. I might sack him. He's out of contract at the end of the season anyway. I might just release him on a free as punishment. Second time I'll have released him on a free. First time wasn't as punishment. Fuster's in. Please score. How do you do that? I mean, it's almost an open goal with a player alongside you can pass to. Because offsides don't count in this game, apparently. But instead, you just thump it into the crossbar. The only thing we can say positively about this is Hartlepool have lost as well. So it's still just a 2-point gap. But we should be top of the league right now. And it's Kaduba's fault that we're not. Dagenham have made it a 3-point gap by going ahead against Spenny Moor really late on. We need an equaliser. We're not going to get one. This has been absolutely ridiculous. And there's the man who is impervious to offside in again. Sugar plums. This has been a terrible game. We've been absolutely robbed, mugged. Oh, that was awful. We're still going to win the league. as long as we don't play like that anymore. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching. I need to go and decide what to do with Joel Kaduba.